Angel Reese is a damn good player that I think has a very, very bright future in the WNBA. I view Caitlin Clark, as I was saying about her in college, this girl is the female Steph Curry.
Yes.
Angel Reese essentially is a forward, and Caitlin Clark's a guard, and I look at their responsibilities as being different. Here's where I'm going where the rivalry kicks in. Angel Reese, the reason why obviously the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing happened was because when they met in the NCAA tournament in 2023, when Angel Reese was doing all of this, because Caitlin Clark had been doing that to her opponents when she got the best of them.
Angel Reese potentially winning Rookie of the Year, that'd be the best thing in the world for Caitlin Clark.
What if I told you the biggest rivalry in the WNBA was never real? For months, perhaps even years, the sports world has been fixated on the supposed clash between two of women's basketball's most recognizable names, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They are constantly thrown into headlines together, their careers inextricably linked by a narrative of fierce personal competition. But the truth, according to a vast and growing chorus of voices, is that fans are finally seeing through the manufactured hype. One viewer, cutting through the noise with startling clarity, put it this way: a nail does not have a rivalry with a hammer. It's a harsh analogy, but one that resonates with a frustrated fan base.
What I take from these two going at it and keeping up with their record in the pros, it's a result right now from what they did in college.
It was a basketball play. Yes. Angel Reese is right about that.
Basketball play, basketball play, basketball play, basketball play.
And this isn't just anecdotal. Based on hundreds, if not thousands, of comments across social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit, it's abundantly clear. Fans have had enough. They're tired of the forced narrative. Today, we're diving deep into the stark reality behind these headlines, the undeniable numbers, the relentless media noise, and the hard truth about why this rivalry might actually be doing more harm than good for the growth and integrity of women's professional basketball. We'll explore the real impact of each player, the perception issues that plague one, and the significant concerns about player safety that have emerged from this overblown drama.
League, Caitlin Clark is not just only there for the WNBA, it's much broader. There's a cultural impact that's happening. And then last but not least, I think the revenue growth strategy. So if you look at the corporate sponsorships, we were talking with a couple clubs. And
Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is...
Let's cut straight to the chase about the seismic shift happening in the WNBA. The economic and cultural impact of Caitlin Clark is not just significant, it's unprecedented. Her arrival didn't just create a ripple, it generated a tidal wave that has elevated the entire league.
Get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48%. From $121 a ticket to $64 a ticket after the news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
Consider the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. This event is meant to be a showcase, a celebration of the league's brightest stars. Yet, the moment news broke that Caitlin Clark would be sidelined due to a groin injury, the market reacted with astonishing speed. Ticket prices on secondary markets dropped by a staggering 36% to 48%. Plummeting from an average of $121 to as low as $64 practically overnight. The message from the market was unmistakable. As one blunt fan commented, apparently they weren't coming to see Angel. But Clark's impact extends far beyond a single All-Star game. A detailed analysis by Dr. Ryan M. Brewer, an associate professor of finance at Indiana University, Columbus, revealed that
I think she's responsible for about 26.5% of league-wide activity.
Caitlin Clark was responsible for an astounding 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity in 2024. For 2025, Brewer projects her influence could generate roughly $875 million, with a realistic potential to exceed $1 billion in economic impact for the league. This encompasses everything from surging attendance and merchandise sales to exploding television advertising revenue. Let's look at the specifics. Viewership. When Clark played in 2024, ESPN broadcasts averaged 1.2 million viewers, setting new WNBA benchmarks. Her first preseason game with the Indiana Fever in 2025 surpassed 1.3 million viewers. The The 2024 WNBA season featured a record 22 regular season game telecasts averaging at least 1 million viewers, many of them featuring Clark's Fever. For instance, the Chicago Sky at Fever game on May 17, 2025 on ABC drew 2.7 million viewers, and the Fever vs. New York Liberty game on May 24, 2025 on CBS drew 2.22 million. These numbers outperformed even the 2025 All-Star game itself, which saw a 36% decline in viewership without Clark. Attendance. The Fever's total home attendance in 2024 was a single-season record for a WNBA team, reaching over 340,000 fans, dwarfing the previous record. In 2025, the Fever are projected to average over 17,000 fans per home game, surpassing the average attendance for the NBA's Indiana Pacers, who share the same arena. All 10 of the WNBA's top-selling games on StubHub for 2025 feature the Fever. Merchandise. Fanatics reported overall WNBA sales increased by more than 500% compared to the previous year, directly linked to Clark's arrival. Dick's Sporting Goods saw a 233% jump in WNBA-related sales from 2023 to 2024. Her Indiana Fever jersey sold out in under an hour on draft day and became the second best-selling basketball jersey in North America, behind only Stephen Curry. Sponsorships and franchise value. Clark's presence has led to significant new national sponsor deals for the league and for the Fever. Indianapolis itself saw an estimated $36.5 million economic impact in 2024 due to Fever games. Forbes recently valued the Fever at $370 million, crediting Clark's popularity for making them the second most valuable franchise and the league's leader in revenue in 2018-2024. Her own endorsement portfolio, including an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike, dwarfs her WNBA salary, demonstrating her unparalleled individual market power. And let's talk about shoes again. Clark's custom Kobe collaboration for Nike sold out instantly before the All-Star weekend even began. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's Reebok launch? It was widely panned and became the subject of widespread mockery. One particularly biting comment joked, "Reebok should make a shoe that looks like a brick." Another chimed in with, "After watching her layups, I'm waiting for the Reebok pray-ups." The stark difference isn't just in performance, it's an undeniable market perception and commercial pull. One woman is unequivocally elevating the entire game, bringing in new eyes, new money, and new fans. The other, whether fairly or not, is becoming a punchline and a lightning rod for criticism that often distracts from the game itself. Let's be absolutely clear. Angel Reese is a talented professional basketball player. She was the 7th overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, a phenomenal rebounder, and has achieved some impressive statistical milestones in her rookie and sophomore seasons. For example, in 2024, she set a WNBA rookie record with 15 consecutive double-doubles, and in 2025, she became the fastest player to reach 500 points and 500 rebounds. She was also a 2-time WNBA All-Star in 2024 and 2025. However, a persistent and increasingly vocal segment of the fan base believes she's more focused on fame, social media virality, and off-court antics than on consistently developing her fundamental basketball skills. The comment sections on any video or article featuring Reese are often brutal and unflinching. You'll find comments like, "She rebounds most of her misses. That's what makes her good?" Or, "Without Caitlin, Reese is thingless." This reflects a perception that her impact is often overshadowed by her personality or perceived rivalries. And the nicknames, while harsh, illustrate this public perception. Baby Giraffe, referring to her sometimes awkward offensive movements. Me-bound Barbie, a jab at her self-proclaimed Reese bounds, combined with a perceived focus on personal branding over team play. Brick Barbie, directly attacking her shooting percentages, especially early in her career. Even Sid from Ice Age, a comparison to the clumsy, often annoying animated character. Whether you find these nicknames funny, cruel, or an unfair judgment, they undeniably reflect a significant portion of fan sentiment. The hype and attention surrounding Angel Reese often aren't matching her consistent on-court performance, particularly on the offensive end, or her perceived sportsmanship. During the 2025 All-Star Game, for example, even though she was a 2-time All-Star, Reese missed multiple easy layups and struggled with her shooting touch. And while Caitlin Clark sat out injured, The contrast in focus and performance became even more apparent. As one viewer succinctly put it, no one was really talking about Reese this weekend. The energy, the buzz, and the conversation that Clark's presence usually generates simply weren't there in the same way. Shaquille O'Neal, a Hall of Famer, recently came to Reese's defense in June 2025, acknowledging her shooting struggles but praising her energy and leadership, urging her to ignore the negativity. While such support from a legend is notable, it also highlights the intense scrutiny and criticism she faces, much of which is rooted in how she presents herself and her perceived priorities. When fans see a player consistently reacting to every call, or seemingly prioritizing personal moments over the flow of the game, it contributes to this mounting frustration and the PR nightmare perception. This is where the narrative truly diverges from reality. Despite the clear disparities in impact and public perception, the media continues to aggressively push the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry as if it's the next great sports epic, akin to Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird. But the raw statistics and the overwhelming sentiment from the fanbase tell a profoundly different story. Let's look at the facts. In 2024, Angel Reese was selected as the 15th reserve pick for the WNBA All-Star Game. While an All-Star nod is an achievement, it was not the result of fan voting and positioned her firmly outside the top tier of players. Clark, on the other hand, was selected early, and her statistical impact has been historic for a rookie, leading all first-year players in categories like assists and three-pointers made. Their positions on the court aren't even directly comparable. Clark is a dynamic, generational guard known for her long-range shooting and elite passing, while Reese is a forward, primarily known for her rebounding and interior defense. The skill sets are complementary, not directly competitive in a one-on-one sense. As one exasperated fan succinctly put it, it's not a rivalry, it's envy with a camera crew. And here's where the frustration among fans really boils over. They feel insulted that the league and the media continue to actively manufacture a rivalry that simply isn't an even match. We've seen countless headlines hyping their matchups as monumental clashes, yet the on-court product often doesn't deliver the same competitive fire between the two individuals. Comments pour in from viewers expressing this disdain. Reese is a legend in her own mind. There is no rivalry when one side isn't competitive. It's the most artificial rivalry in sports. The league needs to stop forcing it. This isn't Magic versus Bird. This is someone trying to be Magic, while Bird is out here setting records. The question isn't whether Angel Reese is a good player. She is. The issue is the narrative that positions her as a direct, equal rival to a player who is fundamentally changing the economics and viewership of an entire league. This forced equivalency not only undervalues Clark's unique impact, but also creates resentment towards Reese, who is often seen as benefiting from this manufactured drama rather than earning her spotlight through performance alone. It's a strategy that, while possibly designed to boost engagement, is perceived by many as disingenuous and ultimately undermines the credibility of the WNBA's product. Beyond the statistical and narrative discrepancies, a much more serious concern has emerged: player safety, particularly surrounding Caitlin Clark. This came to a head during the 2025 All-Star Game, where a controversial incident ignited widespread outrage. Fans widely claim that during the game, J.C. Sheldon of the Connecticut Sun, while defending Caitlin Clark, made a highly questionable play, appearing to knee Clark directly in the groin area. This occurred just moments before Clark ultimately exited the game, visibly clutching the same area, an area she had previously injured, raising concerns about aggravating a pre-existing condition. What followed was perhaps even more alarming. The referees remained silent. No foul was called. No replay review was initiated. No accountability for a play that many viewers perceived as dangerous and potentially intentional. This perceived inaction from the officiating crew sparked a torrent of anger and frustration. Comments flooded in, demanding action. J.C. Sheldon should be suspended for that dirty hit. The refs saw it clear as day. This league is getting what it deserves. They are failing to protect their meal ticket. If they can keep Caitlin hurt, she won't break records or bring in viewers. This is beyond dirty. The lack of consistent foul calls on aggressive, sometimes bordering on flagrant, plays against Clark is a serious problem. It sends a message. This incident isn't isolated. Throughout her rookie season in 2024 and into 2025, Clark has been subjected to what many fans describe as excessive physicality, often going unpunished. The WNBA's rules on foul calls and player safety are in place, with a coach's challenge system and provisions for reviewing potentially flagrant fouls. Yet, in critical moments, fans feel these rules are either inconsistently applied or ignored when it comes to Clark. This isn't just about a single player anymore. It's about the integrity of the game and the league's responsibility to protect all its athletes, especially its most valuable asset. If the WNBA doesn't visibly demonstrate a commitment to fair play and player protection, it risks alienating the very audience that has flocked to watch the game because of Caitlin Clark's electrifying presence. The perception of favoritism or a deliberate allowance of overly aggressive play against its biggest star could critically undermine its newfound popularity and financial growth. The overwhelming message emanating from the depths of the comment sections, from sports forums, and from casual conversations is incredibly powerful and clear. Fans don't want soap operas. They want basketball. They are fatigued by the constant manufactured drama, the perceived shade thrown on social media, and the personal beefs that overshadow the actual competition. What do they want? They want real basketball. They want to see players who show up, perform at an elite level, and genuinely elevate the league through their skills, their teamwork, and their competitive spirit. They crave authentic rivalries built on the intensity of the game itself, on incredible plays, competitive games, and a mutual push for greatness, not on an individual trying to siphon off another's spotlight. They want dunks, dazzling assists, deep threes, and defensive battles. They want to celebrate athletic excellence. One viewer perfectly encapsulated this sentiment. The only rivalry between CC and AR is in AR's head. Another succinct, yet telling observation: Clark equals class, Reese equals crass. These comments reflect a broader desire for more professionalism and less perceived immaturity or attention-seeking behavior. And perhaps the most telling feedback that should resonate with league executives: I didn't even watch once Caitlin was out. The excitement was crushed. This is the direct consequence of pushing an artificial narrative and failing to protect the talent that genuinely drives interest. The new expanded audience that Caitlin Clark has brought to the WNBA is not here for petty drama. They are here for the pure joy of watching incredible basketball. If the league prioritizes manufactured rivalries over genuine competition and player safety, it risks losing these new fans as quickly as it gained them. So let's ask the real fundamental question again, now with all the evidence laid bare. Is Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese a true rivalry? Or is it, as many suspect, merely a clickbait headline, relentlessly engineered for online engagement rather than rooted in genuine balanced competition? The fans have spoken, unequivocally. They've spoken through their ticket purchases, through their passionate comments, through their memes, and through every moment of frustration and sarcasm. They've distinguished between legitimate star power and manufactured narratives. Angel Reese may have her moments, and she will undoubtedly continue to draw attention. She is a WNBA player, and that alone signifies immense talent. But right now, there is only one player whose name consistently defines the WNBA's explosive new era. One player who is single-handedly driving unprecedented viewership, attendance, and economic growth. And it's not the one who struggles with her shooting or whose perceived focus is off-court. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think it's a rivalry, or is Angel Reese simply chasing Caitlin's spotlight? And what real rivalries would you like to see develop in the WNBA? Thanks for watching.